equation. Now, you remember the form of a quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. Someone just sent me a question as regard quadratic inequality. That how do you solve quadratic inequality? Now, let's go this way. So I'm going to be doing justice to this question. We are going to see how easy it is to solve this question. Just follow this test. But before I proceed, don't forget to follow us. Go to our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube, and follow us on our Facebook. Still the same name, Math with Matthew. Now let's look at it. The question says, show graphically the solution set of 12 plus 2x minus 2x squared greater than or equals to 0. Now, you know, when we are dealing with quadratic equation now, what we are saying is we need to get a critical point, two critical points. And what do we mean by critical point? We mean the value of x. And when we are talking about quadratic, that means you are getting two answers. The value of your x will be 2. That is 2 answers for your x. X will be this or x will be this. That will make this expression or equation to be satisfied, right? That is in quadratic equation. Now, you remember the form of a quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. That is, what value of x, if I substitute the value of x here, that will equate to what? That will equate to 0. You know, and we can use different method of doing factorization, completing the square method, and the general formula of minus b, you know, that is minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, of which some people call the almighty formula, or the almighty formula, you remember. So now, but this is not where we are going to, just for you to have the idea of what we want to do in this particular inequality. Now, but in inequality, what we are now saying is the answer we want to get here, if I substitute the value of the range of value I want to get, if I substitute the value of x into this quadratic inequality, it must be equal to 0 or greater than 0. Now, let's see, how do we solve what we have here? How are we going to solve it? It's very easy to solve, very, very easy to solve. So let's look at it. We have 12 plus 2x minus 2x squared greater than equals to 0. Now, the first thing we need to do is, when we want to solve this inequality, we can equate this to be equals to 0. Then we now do a test to see what range of value are we going to use that will satisfy this inequality that we have here. Now, let's start from here. You know, what I have here, I can rewrite this by saying minus 2x squared, right, plus 2x, just rearranging now, plus 12 is greater than equals to 0, right? Look at this from here. We still don't have any problem with this. Now, let's look at it. But I noticed something here. We can see that 2 can go here, 2 can go here, 2 can go here. So we can reduce our inequality or our quadratic equation. We reduce it to the simplest form by dividing through by the coefficient of x squared, because it can divide this, right? Now, but you look at the coefficient of x squared here. The coefficient of x here is minus 2, of which 2 can go here, can go here, can go here. That means I can decide to divide through by negative 2, right? Negative 2. But I told you the last time we did inequality, I told you that when there are things that you need to consider when you are dealing with inequality, and one of it is, anytime you are dealing with inequality and you multiply or you divide by negative value, then your inequality sign will change. That is, it change direction. If it is greater down, it will change to less than, and if it greater than equals to, it will change to less than equals to, right? Do you remember that? Don't forget, you can still follow us. Yes, do that. You are just watching us. Follow us for more mathematics video. You know, I've not done anything here. I've not even changed the sign. We can still do it without changing the sign or equate this one to 0. We are still going to get what we want to get. Now, look at it. By dividing through by minus 2 now. What do we have? We have minus 2x squared divided by minus 2 plus 2x divided by minus 2 plus 12 divided by minus 2 greater than equals to 0 divided by minus 2, right? And don't forget, the moment you divide through by negative, this sign will change. That means if you look at this, cancel this one cancel this, we have x squared. Now look at this. Plus divided by minus will turn to what? Will turn to minus, right? So then we have 2 cancelling 2, we have minus x. Now look at this. 2 here 1, 2 here 6. So plus divided by minus is giving us minus 6. Now look at this. Because we are dividing through by negative, this greater than equals to changes to what? Less than equals to what? 0. Because 0 divided by any value will give you that 0. But when you say any value like 5 divided by 0, that is undivine. It is undivine. But when we say 0 divided by any value, be it 1, 5, 7, 8, will still give us 0. But when you now divide a number by 0, that is when it is undivine. That is why most of the times when you press your calculator and you have something like 7 over 0, you should know that your calculator will be giving you syntax error or math error, something like that. Now look at this. What we now have here, let's now solve this one by factorizing what we have here. By factorizing what we have here, what can we do? Now look at this. You remember that when we are dealing with when we deal with factorization in quadratic, then what do? The first thing is use this first term to multiply the last term. You know, by multiplication now, x squared times minus 6 is giving us minus 6x squared, right? Now, what I'm now looking for, what are the 2 factors that when I use it to multiply, I'm going to get minus 6x squared, or let's say minus 6. Don't put the x squared now, so that because of confusion, let's say, now, what are the 2 numbers that when I multiply them, I'm going to get minus 6? And if I add them, I'm going to get minus 1. You know the coefficient of x here is 1, right? So now, the first thing you need to do is, you look at it. Do we have any number? We know that 1 by 6 is giving us 6. But if I add them or do the subtraction as the case may be, I'm not going to get minus 1. If you do 2 by 3, now, if I multiply 2 by 3, I'm going to get 6. Now, if I change this one to minus and change this one to plus, you know, if I multiply them, I'm going to get minus 6. If I add them this way, I'm going to get plus 1. We don't need that. Then, we can change this one to what? Plus 2 minus 3. So, if I still do 2 multiplied by minus 3, we are getting minus 6. And if I add plus 2 minus 3, we are having minus 1. Which is what we need at this point in time. So what do? We just open our bracket. We have x here, right? X, because this is what we want to factorize out. Now, what are the factors that we are now using now? We have 2. That means, what is the value here? Plus 2. We have plus 2. And here, what are we having? Minus 3. Do you understand that? That is, we have already factorized this. We can say less than equals to 0. Do you get that now? Then, in quadratic, what do we say we do? This is product rule now. Product, when we talk to rules of product in quadratic, that is, this is multiplying this. That means we pick this one, we equate it to this. We pick this, we equate it to this. That means what we have now is x plus 2 less than equals to 0, or x minus 3 less than equals to 0. Now, let's look at this. So, I can, with this now, we want to solve this. What do? We can subtract 2 from both sides, or I take this 2 to this other side, right? Taking this 2 to this other side, I have x less than equals to what? Minus 2. Or, if I take this 3 to this other side, what will it become? X less than equals to what? 3. Now, this is what we have. The next thing is now to draw the number line and show the area which will satisfy this inequality. What do? We're now going to do our test to know which area is going to be satisfied with this. Now look at it. The first thing we need to do, draw your number line. Now, what we have here is minus 2 to 3. You know, from number line, we know that when we draw number line, we have 0. Then to our left hand side is negative. To our right hand side is positive. So if I want to do this, you don't need to stress yourself. I can say minus 2 here. Then to this other side, we have 3. You know, in between them, that is where our 0 and the likes is. Now, how do we now do the test? Now, we do the test in 3 places now, or in 3 ways. We do it here, first, second, and third. We want to check if values, apart from this minus 2, from this minus 2 to our left hand side, it will be valid for this inequality. and we check from minus 2 to 3, value in between them, we check it will be valid for this, and from 3 and above, we are going to check if it is going to be valid for this. Now, what are we going to do? Now, this is it. Now, if I want to start from here, what are the value beyond minus 2? Less than minus 2 now. We have what? We have minus 1. I mean, we have minus 3. We have minus 4. We have minus 5. We have minus 6. We have minus 7, and so on and so forth. So we can pick any of our number from there. Let's say we want to pick minus 3. Immediately after this, minus 3 or minus 4 or minus 5, as the case may be. Now, we now check now. Test. Now, look at this. 12. We have 12. When x is minus 3, or let's say when x is 5. When x is 5, we have 12 plus 2 into bracket. Our x is what? Minus 5 minus 2 into bracket minus 5 squared. We are now checking, is it going to be greater than 0? Look at that. No, that means this is 12, plus 2 times minus 5. This is minus 10. Minus 2 into minus 5 squared, giving us what? 25. Greater than or equals to 0. So we can say 12 minus 10 giving us 2, minus 2 times 25 giving us 50, greater than 0. Look at this. When we do 2 minus 50, which is giving us what? Minus 48 greater than 0. Now, look at it this way. Is minus 48 greater than or equals to 0? No. Minus 48 is not greater than 0. It is less than. So this is false. It's not valid. So we just come here, we have false. This is false. It is false here. Then we also check for the second one here. Are you with me? We also check for the second one. When x, now between minus 2 and 3, that is where we have minus 1, 0, 1, 2, up to 3, right? So let's pick 0 now. Let's pick 0. When x equals to 0. So we'll be able to solve that one easily. So we come back here. 12 plus 2 into bracket 0 minus 2 into bracket 0 squared greater than or equals to 0, right? Now let's do 12 plus 2 times 0. This is giving us 0, right? Now 0 raised to power 2 is 0. Minus 2 times 0. This is giving us 0. Greater than or equals to this. Now when you look at it, 12 plus 0 plus 0, 12 is greater than or equals to 6 or equals to 0. Now look at it. 12 is greater than or equals to 0, right? Which is true at this point. Because it is true here, we come here, we write, true, we write true. Now, we check the other part now, the third part, we also check the third part. Sorry for wiping that. We also check the third part, So 3 beyond now, that will be giving us 4, 5, 6, 7, and so on. So let's pick 4. Let's pick 4. So here we are still going to do when x is now equals to 4. What will happen? 12 plus 2 into bracket 4, right? Minus 2 into bracket x is 4 raised to power 2. Is it greater than or equals to 0? Now let's look at it. This is 12 plus 2 times 4. That is giving us 8 minus 4 raised to power 2. That is what? 4 raised to power 2 is 16. Then 16 multiplied by 2. That is what? 32. Minus 32 greater than or equals to 0. Now let's look at it. 12 plus 8. That is giving us what? Giving us 20 minus 32 greater than or equals to 0. So when I do 20 minus 32, what am I having? I'm having minus 12, right? No, sorry. I said minus 12. Minus 12. Yes, minus 12, right? We have minus 12. So with minus 12 greater than or equals to 0. If you now look at it, is minus 12 greater than or equals to 0? No. This part is also what? Is also false. So if you now look at this, what we now have here that will be valid is within minus 2 and this 3. Now look at this. But we notice our inequality sign. We have greater than equals to. That means this minus 2 is included and this 3 is included. So what we now have on our number line that will satisfy this is, look at this, x greater than equals to minus 2 and x less than equals to what? 3. That is, x is not going beyond this, it's coming this way. Now, if you want to make this one together, now imagine I have something like this, x greater than equals to minus 2. If I turn it like this, minus 2 is coming here, then turn to less than. So I can see minus 2 less than equals to x and my x less than equals to 3. So I can make these two together by saying minus 2 less than x, then the same x less than equals to what? 3. Do you understand now? So drawing the graph now, the graphical representation of this on number line will now give us this, which you have already gotten here, that is from minus 2 to 3. And because it is greater than equals to, that means you are using closed circle. So we have here shade the inside, here shade the inside, and we have this. So this is the solution for this quadratic inequality. Very simple, and don't forget to follow us, subscribe, follow us on our pages, our YouTube page, Facebook, and on this TikTok that we are using. Don't forget to follow us, and if there is any question, drop your comment and we are going to do justice to it. Thank you. See you in my next video.